Good evening, everyone. Today is Wednesday, September 8th at 7 p.m. I'm Jefferson Parish President Cynthia Lee Shang, here to give our Jefferson Parish Hurricane Ida Recovery Daily Briefing. We want to thank from the Deaf Action Center, Shari and Arthene, for being with us, as well as our Sheriff Joseph Lapinto. We also have from Entergy, Patrick Hamby. From Cox, the Manager of Government and Regulatory Affairs, Christina Lagasse. Is that right? Okay. AT&T, the Regional Director for External Affairs, Mr. Eric Jones. Our Director of Emergency Management, Mr. Joe Valiente. Our East Bank Fire Chief, Chief Dave Tippett. From Marrero Harvey Volunteer Fire Company, Don Robertson. Our Director of Public Works, Mr. Mark Drews, as well as our Chief Administrative Assistant, Ms. Sarah Babcock. All right. So, everyone, I know I'll give you the latest updates. And look, guys, I know a lot of this information we're repeating every night. I don't know that people are watching this all the time. So for the people who are just catching this, now I want to make sure the information gets out there. So I do realize that every night we're repeating a lot of the same information, but it's very valuable information. And for people who might be listening for the first time or might just be getting home or not tuning in every night, I want them to have it. So the debris removal contract is already in the field in your neighborhoods. If you're interested in where they are, you can look at www.jeffparish.net. We have an incredible resource there, but one of the resources under the Hurricane Ida banner is a storm debris map. And you can see, I checked the map earlier, you will see that much of the parish shows a color code of first pass in progress. So there's going to be 3 passes. So you can see what pass they're currently on and involved in, and then what pass is complete. So it'll say first pass complete, second pass in progress, second pass complete, etc. So please take a look at that wonderful resource. Sarah Babcock's going to be talking more about this, but we're very happy to work with Red Cross. They're going to be managing our shelter operations. As you know, we're in the mode of if you need assistance, medical assistance, you're going to go to the convention center. But if you need assistance, we don't put you on a bus elsewhere. We're going to keep you local at a local shelter, which is now at Kings Grant. And we're prepared to expand those sheltering services with the help of Red Cross. So I'm going to let Sarah talk to you more about that. But we are looking at bringing people home from Alexandria and Bastrop, Louisiana, that had evacuated here just post-storm. So I know everybody's interested in electricity. I know many of my friends got electricity today. I'm getting text messages, and I know some people are still waiting for their electricity. So Patrick Hamby, we're grateful that he is here all the time. We'll provide an update on today's work. And I know I saw a lot of trucks out today, and I know they've been working really hard, so we want to thank them for that. I'm happy to have, I know once you get your electricity, you're going to want your internet services and your cable. So happy to have someone here from Cox and AT&T to brief you on those services, which are very, very critical to your lives, to your businesses, and to just putting our community back together again. So we have a nightly curfew again, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. It's going through Friday, September 10th at 6 a.m. Okay, that is the curfew going through Friday at 6 a.m. Lots of things going on in Grand Isle. As I mentioned yesterday, there are plenty of people down there. Our Grand Isle Fire Department, our Grand Isle Police, members of the Louisiana Sheriff's Association, Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office are there, National Guard and EMS with 2 transport units, and many members of our own team in the Jefferson Parish government, led by Chief Brian Adams. I know Entergy continues to bring supplies to store at the laydown yard. Right now, I know their mission is to cut wires on the side streets so that the guard can have access and continue to remove the sand from the road. We had our water team with Sidney Basley down there to have a strategy on what they're going to do about water, and Mark will update you on that. But they were meeting today, and as of yesterday and today, to go over their plan for getting water to the island. And Lafitte, the update for Lafitte is the enclosed bridge is open. It was being used today. Remember, this is can only have a certain amount of cars on it in only one direction at a time, and then they let those cars go off, and then they start going in the other direction. So it's not a bridge that you can use all the time, but it is incredible resource to have that they put up very quickly for us, and it allows our residents in Barataria to be able to go look at their homes. Lieutenant Colonel Riley is not able to join us today, but I know they're very, very busy. He had a conflicting meeting, but they continue to run our pod sites, again, at the Ilario Center in Westwego, at Helen Cox School in Harvey, the Shrine-on Airline in Metairie, and Johnny Bright Playground, also in Metairie. And today, I know they served nearly 4,000 vehicles. So the numbers are getting a little bit lower every day, which is good. That means there's less and less need, more stores opening. But we're very, very grateful for all that Louisiana National Guard is doing for us. Today we had many distribution sites. Second Harvest was doing food distributions at Lafreniere Park, Bridge City Fire Department. We had a United Way Supply site pop up in Marrero. We want to thank Academy Sports. We had a truckload of water to Grand Isle. Baby supplies to Lafitte, where they're much needed. So as a reminder, and I say this every day, as we get supplies, we push them out. Please check our social media pages. And then if you're still interested in donating, we still need donations. The email is donations@jeffparish.net. Posigen and Tesla are set up a solar panel battery site. They donated that. It's powering a United Way cooling station at Avondale Fire Station, so we want to thank them for that. And we still have the AT&T charging stations and the oxygen tank switch out at Station 20 at 4110 Hudson in Metairie, and Station 81 at 808 MacArthur in Harvey. And then I'm told Verizon deployed a wireless emergency communications center at 8912 Veterans Boulevard in Metairie, where residents can take advantage of free cell phone charging and Wi-Fi access from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. So we want to thank them for that. We have both of our fire chiefs here today. As I mentioned, they're going to go over the generator safety and those numbers, but I'm very relieved that the more the electricity gets turned on, that you can directly see the numbers for our calls for service regarding generator issues, carbon monoxide poisoning go down. So that's good to know. And Mark's going to give you an update on our public works. Again, making real headway today on all of those systems. Glad we announced yesterday, no longer a boil water advisory in Upper Jefferson and Lafitte. I've said this again, this is another repeat. Free Lifeline Transit is in place during our recovery phase for residents to be able to get to their necessary resources. It's a limited route, and I'm gonna go over it again. E1 Veterans, E2 Airline, E3 Kenner Local, W1 Avondale, W3 LaPalco, and W10 Huey P. Long. That's our transit system free fares during this recovery period. Again, our Jefferson Protection Animal Welfare, JPAWS, is in desperate need of volunteers. So we want to thank the volunteers that heard me yesterday. And if you're interested in volunteering, please continue to do so. You email at this address, ryeaton@jeffparish.net. That is Renee's address, and she is our volunteer coordinator. And we want to thank Chewy.com. I'm a customer of Chewy.com, so thank Chewy.com for the great donation of animal food. Okay, curbside pickup is still going on. Again, they're really working hard. I know I've seen those trucks out there, but do expect delays. Again, as I keep saying, a lot more trash, longer to get to the landfill. Again, as I mentioned before, debris pickup, that contract is in place. You can look at the map and make sure you separate your debris. I say this every night, separate your debris out and make sure you're not blocking the gutter and you're not blocking where your water would drain into your catch basin. And recycling is suspended until further notice. Again, as I mentioned, FEMA has a mobile registration intake center that started today and will be a drive-up site open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., 7 days a week until further notice. And that is at the Jefferson Parish Health Unit at 1855 Ames Boulevard in Marrero. The Blue Roof Program, we have registered over 14,000 people from Jefferson Parish. Again, that's blueroof.us. Also, the number is Roof Blue, 888 ROOFBLU. For any insurance questions that you have, please make sure you call the Louisiana Department of Insurance, 1-800-259-5300, option number 4. And then Jerry was with us yesterday evening Jerry Bologna from the Jefferson Economic Development Commission. We want to make sure businesses understand all of the resource that JEDCO is providing. They're also encouraged to take the needs assessment survey. So you can access both of those at www.jedco.org/IDA updates. There's also having a free business continuity webinar with Jerry Bologna and also the Department of Insurance Commissioner Jim Donelon and Adams and Reese partner Michael Burson tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. So go to the JEDCO website and register for that event, and you can be part of that free webinar. Again, our offices are closed for the rest of the week. Schools are closed for the rest of the week, both public and private. And I want to, before I finish, I want to say that our public information office did a wonderful job trying to centralize all of these resources on one page. So jeffparish.net, and if you look at the Hurricane Ida recovery banner, you will see, like I mentioned, the storm debris maps, and plus so many other links, the JEDCO website, the Blue Roof Program, FEMA Disaster Assistance, SBA Disaster Loan, the Entergy Outage Map, news and information, including all of our press releases and press conferences, our government building information. You can sign up for JP Alert. We have an incredible community resource page that shows where the shelters are, where the point of distribution sites are that Louisiana National Guard is running, where you can get dialysis, where the pharmacies that are open. It's a wonderful community resource page. So I want to thank our PIO team for doing that. And what they're doing is the kind of questions that they're getting a lot, they're setting up a link, another window on that resource page. So it's incredible. So before I conclude, I do want to say as electricity and energy come back on, I know that is why many people are going to decide to come back. And I want everybody to remember there are many parts of our community that are not put back together again. Every day we make more progress, but please, please understand there are many dangers that are still in our community. We're not a pre-storm community yet. We're getting there, but we're not there yet. Traffic lights are still out when roads are crowded and slow moving. There's a lot of debris in the street. We have a lot of trees and power lines down. The buildings are not secure for high winds. And it's very, very dark at night, so there are very dangerous driving conditions. And again, I hate to even highlight one of our teams, but all of our recovery workers throughout the parish, whether you're government, from out of town, nonprofit, private, thank you. I know we all it means a lot to us as we drive around. We see more people in our community and it coming together more. I know it's very rewarding for all of you. We're getting there. We're not there yet, and we're going to keep our strength up until we put ourselves back together even stronger. So I want to thank everybody for that. Okay, so next we'll have our Jefferson Parish Sheriff, Sheriff Joseph Lapinto.
Thank you, Madam President. Just want to reiterate that we still have the curfew in effect until Friday morning at 6 a.m. We will be out in force continuing to enforce that curfew, especially in the areas that do not have power. If you do need to go somewhere, stay on the major roads. We're concentrating, obviously, in the neighborhoods that don't have power to make sure that people that are driving through that neighborhood have a legitimate reason to be there and not there up to no good. If you return home and you find your house burglarized or your business burglarized, please report it. We are making several arrests. We have leads on different locations. We are executing search warrants, recovering property. We want to make sure that if we do recover property, we know who it belongs to, so we can get additional charges on those suspects and make sure that we can try to link as many as we can. We're certainly going to do our best to try to solve every one, but please report it. Don't come home, see something, and figure, oh, well, there's no lead. We may have arrested somebody right down the block from you 2 days ago, and we'd be able to get that back to you. So make those reports. We definitely have our Criminal Investigation Bureau concentrating on the burglaries that we did have. Now, I want to really give a thanks to my laser division, who's been in operations in Lafitte for the last 10 days. They were there for the opening of the bridge. They're managing the traffic control for that bridge over to Barataria. The line was not extremely long today. Some people had to wait probably an hour or so, but it's a situation where we're going to continue to move it. I think it'll get less and less as the days go by. Just be patient, but we're moving it as quickly as we can, and they're really doing a good job. And then our other team that's down in Grand Island have been there since the 2 days after the storm. We're going to continue that operation along with our help with the Louisiana Sheriff's Association to make sure Grand Isle has the security means that they're not necessarily used to. I mean, Grand Isle PD is obviously a small department, and we're going to assist them with a lot of patrol out there to really help them out in twofold. One, to be able to deter any crime that may occur, but then also to be able to take care of the roadways, blocking them off, ferrying people around while DOTD does their work to try to clear those roadways. So we'll be down there for the long haul to make that happen. Again, we're getting back to normal. Try to stay off the road as much as possible the next few days. Traffic has become an issue. We want to make sure that the people that need to get somewhere can. So if you can limit your activity to just necessities, we would certainly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sheriff. Our next speaker is Patrick Hamby from Entergy.
All right, thank you very much. Patrick Hamby on behalf of Entergy Louisiana. So it's hard to believe we're wrapping up day 10. When I say wrapping up, what is it, 7? So we got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5 more hours, but we're going to work through the night. My motto has been and always will be, from before the storm, during the storm, after the storm, there are 2 things I try to convey. It's number 1, truth. Number 2, transparency. So when I know something, you're going to know it as well. Why I mentioned that is because for years I've been saying historic predictions of storm restoration times for a Category 1 would be 7 days, Category 2, 10 days, Category 3 would be 14 days, Category 4, which we're in now, right, would be 21 days. That's for the majority to be restored. That's 90% in 21 days. Category 5 would be over 21 days. So 150-mile-an-hour wind sustained at landfall, that's Hurricane Ida, that's what we had. That's 7 mile an hour shy of a Category 5. So with all of that experience, Katrina, Rita, Gustav, Ike, I can name them all, you know what they are. The 3 we had last year, we have lessons learned. We learn lessons, but we actually go through a lessons learned and after-action review activity with all people and departments in Entergy. We also work with the EOC here to see what worked, what didn't work, what can we make better. That experience, allows us to improve. And this is a significant, major, humongous, huge, whatever word you want to choose, improvement for this restoration activity. So we love our customers, and it's not because they pay our bills. It's because we are our own customers. We live here. We work here. We have neighbors. We have friends. We have family. We are part of the communities that we serve. We don't just serve the communities, we live in them. We contribute to them. We are part of those communities. And being part of those communities, we're obviously Saints fans. So the Saints have their good years, they have their bad years. Preseason, you make your judgment. You don't want them not to win the Super Bowl, right? We're always pulling for the Saints to win the Super Bowl. So September 8th as a target date that we have for this storm to reach 90% of customers restored after that historic storm making landfall, tied with the top 3 storms ever to hit this state. September 8th is 10 days. For a Category 4, 90% restored, that's our target, versus what history had showed us of 21 days. So September 8th is our Super Bowl. So I'm saying that to let you know it is a Herculean effort of what we're doing here. How do we do that? I'll go back real quick to the Saints, because another key thing that we're working on getting on power to tonight is the Saints practice facility. So that should be on hopefully tonight, if not tonight, tomorrow. So in order to win the Super Bowl, what we did, we gathered a historic number of over 26,000 employees. That's a decent-sized city in itself, if you consider the population. I mean, not a metropolis, but that is a city. And we brought them in here to this community, to this parish, to these other parishes that were affected. And we are working to rebuild, literally, the distribution system, large portions of the transmission system, especially the one that fell into the river by the storm. So it is a Herculean effort. And please, if you see those linemen out there from 41 states, basically, the whole country is here to support you and your family, and also our families and our neighbors and our friends. So tell them thank you. Think about what they're doing. They're away from their family. Day 10, think about how long it took them to drive here. We have people from California all over. I mean, it's been weeks away from their family too. So give them some love. They're doing it for you. So I mentioned September 8th being the Super Bowl. I mean, even if we make it to the playoffs, 75% restored by September 8th, that's not bad. That is a good, tremendous, historic restoration pace, and we've done it safely, and we're going to continue to do it safely. So how are we doing this? You'll see we have those large number of crews working in humongous pockets, safely away, spaced out appropriately, but we're getting on as many customers as possible. 3,000 here, 5,000 here, moving on to the next. We will stay behind, and we will sweep and make sure that we try to catch everything we can as far as additional lingering outages, but some customers will have to wait for their power to be restored in order for us to keep up this pace. We will come back. No one is forgotten. We have records of where you are. We have records of the damages. Starting tomorrow, that pace will pick up to restore those lingering outages. I just want to reassure you, you're not any less important than any other customer. We have not forgotten you, but in order to get the customers, all of you, on at this record pace, we must concentrate on the largest number of customers with the least amount of damage and do that first. Otherwise, there is no way we can meet this goal. It just is not possible. So what I was going to say too is, we work hand in hand with Cox and AT&T. Both of them are here. They can tell their stories of what they do. They're working on their own. They cannot work with us. I've said that many times. There's safety rules that are obvious, different pieces of equipment, different qualifications and certifications and things like that. Now we'll get into the important part, the restoration activities. So at peak, we had 204,370 customer outages. Virtually the entire parish was without power. Currently, we have 80,000 outages. We've restored power to 124,000 customers, which is incredible. We're very proud of that. But when you think about 80,000 customers remaining out with 5 hours to go, and maybe through the night we'll get it on before the morning, is that possible? Yes, it is. If you consider what we did yesterday when I was speaking at whatever time it was, 7:30, we had about 128,000 customers without power. When I woke up in the morning, not that I slept very much, but when I opened my eyes, when the sun came up, we had 88,000 customers without power. So 40,000 customers came on last night alone. And we're hoping to do a similar large number tonight as well in order to win that Super Bowl or make it to the playoffs, whatever it may be. But we'll see tomorrow. When I'm here tomorrow giving the update, we can say either we made it to the playoffs, which is a huge win, just like with the Saints, or we won the Super Bowl, which is heroic, tremendous, and amazing. And I'm going to have to buy a ring for all of the guys involved, a Super Bowl ring. So I will begin with my mantra, with my mantra. Go to EnergyStormCenter.com. There's still time. If you have damage to your home, make sure that you hire a licensed electrician to make those repairs. When you go to Energy Storm Center, it's very clear. There's a link. It says what's yours, what's ours, and it shows you what you're responsible for as a customer to make repairs on and what Entergy will take care of. You have to do that first before you're able to receive power, and you don't want to be delayed any further than you have to be. So we still have a lot of work to do, 80,000 customers. Once we hit that majority restored, that 90% mark, that doesn't mean it's over. We still got a long way to go, but I want to let you know we're here for you, we're committed to you, and we are going to finish strong. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Patrick. Our next speaker will be from Cox, the Manager of Government and Regulatory Affairs, Ms. Christina Lagasse.
Good evening, everyone. We are pleased to share that we continue to accelerate the restoration of our services in Greater New Orleans, despite the unprecedented damage caused by Hurricane Ida. Thanks to the hundreds of personnel we have deployed in the community, we have now more than 60% of Cox customers in Greater New Orleans back online. Specifically, in Jefferson Parish, we are pleased to report that we've restored services to more than 45% of our customers. This is a 15% day-over-day increase from yesterday. We are making progress in restoring our neighborhood equipment hubs and repairing an estimated 35 miles of network damage in Jefferson Parish. We'd like to thank our partners at Energy for the significant progress they have made in restoring power and repairing thousands of utility poles damaged in Louisiana. Our repairs continue to follow the restoration of power. Since vital components of the Cox network are attached to utility poles, Cox services cannot be restored to some streets and neighborhoods until the power crews have completed their work. While Cox does not own the utility poles, our equipment is attached to them. Cox crews will continue to work throughout the weekend to ensure that the vast majority of our customers in Greater New Orleans get connected to their services. Our internal data shows that once power is restored, our services usually come back on shortly thereafter. However, we do want our customers to know that areas that sustain significant pole or fiber damage may take longer to restore. So just a few reminders for our customers. We want you to know that Cox trucks are in your neighborhoods. Cox is in Jefferson Parish with boots on the ground. We've deployed more than 500 personnel to support our restoration efforts. You may not always see the Cox logo because we have contractors from 8 states assisting our efforts. We are very thankful for our out-of-state support, but we want you to know that Jefferson Parish is home to many of our local 400 employees. We also have retail locations on Vets and in La Palco that we hope to open soon. And so here's a pretty quick and simple trick if your power has been restored. We ask that you unplug your Cox equipment for 10 seconds and then plug it back in to establish a connection. If your services still do not come back on, this may mean a few things. The equipment hub or the power source that provides Cox services to your neighborhood may have been damaged or lost power. Or it could also mean that the power or cable lines could also be out between the equipment hub and your home. We know this is frustrating, but our crews are working around the clock to make these necessary repairs. If you'd like to get more updates, please go to cox.com. Click on the red Hurricane Ida banner at the top of the page to see answers to some of our frequently asked questions. We are dedicating ourselves to getting our customers, who are neighbors, families, and friends, up and running as quickly as possible. Thank you for your patience with us as we hope to rebuild our area stronger than before. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lagasse. Next, we have from AT&T, the Regional Director of External Affairs, Mr. Eric Jones.
Thank you, Madam President. We appreciate the interaction we've had with your office, Parish President, and with Parish Council members as we've kept you aware of the restoration efforts and progress since Ida made landfall. Thank you to the men and women of AT&T, both those who call Louisiana home and those who have come from 6 other states to speed service repairs and restoration. We have made tremendous progress since Ida made landfall. Our wireless network is operating normally and will continue to improve as our crews optimize the facilities. Of note, in the public report published by the FCC today, there are 101 wireless sites down in Louisiana. Only 5 of those sites belong to AT&T. Service impacts can still occur as our lines are sometimes accidentally cut during debris cleanup. We're also supporting first responders with numerous portable cell sites in the region, providing additional connectivity. This includes FirstNet 1, an aerostat blimp that functions as an LTE tower in the sky, providing 100 square miles of additional coverage for first responders in the southern part of the state. Of our wireline customers, Where we know service was impacted, more than 82% have had their service restored, and our teams will continue to work until all services are restored. While equipment that serves our neighborhoods can be powered and online, we may not be aware of specific in-home service impairments until customers return home to their homes and commercial power is restored. In addition, disruptions to commercial power can affect service for our customers even once repairs are made. We are assisting our wireless customers who may be impacted by the storm by waiving overage charges to provide unlimited talk, text, and data for postpaid and prepaid customers with billing addresses in 388 zip codes across Louisiana and including Mississippi from August 29th through September 14th, 2021. We have also deployed charging stations across the community to support those who have been displaced and remain without power. Customers experiencing issues with AT&T service can reach us at att.com, on my ATT app, or over the phone. Most customers who call us also have the option to receive a callback at their personal convenience. Customers looking to reach us via phone can contact us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 800-331-0500 for wireless support or 800-288-2020 for internet support. In addition, our retail stores are reopened and servicing customers. You can see hours and location at www.att.com/stores/Louisiana. We are proud to call Louisiana home. We have serviced the state and we have serviced this state for more than 100 years and are committed to keeping communities connected. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Our next speaker is our Director of Emergency Management, Mr. Joe Valiente.
Thank you, Madam President, and good evening, everyone. So currently, the EOC is fully activated. At 7 a.m. tomorrow, we will move to a partial activation. The following essential support functions will remain in the EOC on a 24-hour basis. Public Works, which includes streets, sewage, drainage, water, and environmental affairs. Energy, FEMA, GOSEP, Louisiana National Guard. Finance, our phone operators, so that 349-5360 is still important. And the Department of Child and Family Services, which will be important over the next 2 weeks as it relates to federal aid that will be going out to residents that are in need of it. And of course, our operation chiefs will stay on a 24-hour basis. So again, 349-5360, if you have any non-emergency issues that you want to report to the parish. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joe. Our next speaker is our East Bank Fire Chief, Chief Dave Tibbetts.
Thank you, Madam President. Chief Robinson got called away tonight, so he will, I'll just kind of cover a few things for him. I first want to thank the members of the East Bank Consolidated Fire Department and members of the fire departments all over Jefferson Parish, as well as all the first responders for doing such a wonderful job in this event. I'm here to talk to you again about our carbon monoxide safety and some issues. The numbers are still steady. They've dropped a little bit, but we're at 19 so far from midnight this day to today, to this moment. It's about average of what we've been seeing. We are excited about the fact that we have a lot of re-energized lines coming in, people receiving their power, and there won't be a need for the generators. We visited a number of apartment complexes today and helped people understand the dangers with the portable generators and things of that nature. As the President said, we are a little repetitive, and hopefully for people who may be joining us for the first time, I just want to cover a few points. We've been saying the rule of 20, 20, 20, and 20. Have your portable generator 20 feet from your house. Let it cool off or stop for 20 minutes before refueling. And of course, these carbon monoxide detectors on average are about $20, and it's a good investment. I understand that it's tough to get that right now with the way conditions are, but stores are opening.
And we also want to thank the State Fire Marshal for supplying us with some carbon monoxide detectors. We're expecting to work on getting some more of them, and we have them available. Right now, we have a very limited number, and we are going to use those when we respond to a call and see a need for it. As we get more of them, we'll keep the public notified on how they may get one. Just remember that the carbon monoxide is lighter than air. It can creep in your house from any direction. So keep your generator outside, away from your porch, your garage, your eaves, away from windows, dryer vents, anything where this particular gas can get in. The last thing I want to talk on, or a couple of things, I'm sorry. One is the reminder about the hydrants and the debris. Please, I know there's a ton of debris out there where I live. It's just mountains of it. But try to keep those hydrants clear so we can get to them and, and we can use them if needed. And lastly, I've talked about an acronym last night I want to repeat. It's the acronym of RAIN, R-A-I-N. Recognize a situation, a dangerous situation, wires on the ground or whatever the case may be. Try to avoid that situation, try to isolate it, and then, of course, notify the proper authority, and we'll come out and take care of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chief. Mark Drews is our Director of Public Works, and he'll be up next.
Thank you, Madam President. And again, I'd like to start by thanking our approximately 685 Public Works employees who have now reached double digits, as this is their 10th day of 12-plus hour shifts in adverse conditions to bring back the parish and to restore that infrastructure. And again, they've made significant progress. We'll start with water again. As we said last night, both plants on the East Bank and West Bank are operating under normal conditions. So our focus now is our water line breaks on our mains. We've reduced that number to just under 40 as of today. We restored 24 broken mains today. Our priority now has shifted as we had began trying to isolate the breaks from the treatment plant out. Now that we have normal operating conditions, we're going to focus on prioritizing the breaks that have been the oldest, where the people have been out of water for the longest. With regard to Grand Isle, as the parish president said, our director, Mr. Sidney Basley, had a crew down there to see what our facilities, what kind of shape they were, and to develop a short-term plan to get water to Grand Isle. So what they have determined is there's two things we have to attack. We have a couple of leaks on the road from Lafitte, where we pump from Lafitte to Grand Isle. We have a couple of our platforms that are damaged and are leaking water. So we're going to try to restore those as soon as possible. We'll be working on that over the next few days. Tomorrow we will have troops down in Grand Isle. The 20 National Guards will assist our crews. Our goal is to stabilize the pressure on the main line that runs from our Birch Street water station to Chigazola, where they have a fire station, okay? And in order to do this tomorrow, what they'll do is those personnel will be walking and they'll be going to all the damaged houses or businesses that feed off that main line to turn off the water to any place that is not capable of receiving water. So that process has started. Now, we'll move to sewer, and as I said every night, repeated myself, our five main treatment plants have been operating through the storm and have continued operating after with no issues. We're in better shape today as 290 of our 530 lift stations are now on Entergy power, which is 55% of our system, up from 37% yesterday. When you add the 137 lift stations that we have, portable pumps or portable generators, now we have 427 of our 530 lift stations with pumping capacity. That's 80% up from 65% yesterday. However, for another day, we are asking that you try to conserve that water that goes down your drain because we basically have 55% of our system that has full pumping capability, so we want to try to mitigate the potential for backups in the system. Streets and parkways. Today we cleared another 35 additional sites from tree and large tree debris. 7 of those were specifically so we could get to water breaks. But we have now prioritized any locations where we have a water break and there's a tree. Parkways will make that their top priority to try to get to those as quickly as possible. We took another 4 trees off of houses. We also were able to send a sweeper down to Lafitte to clean that temporary bridge, which is seeing a significant amount of activity. And we continue to sweep on the West Bank major routes. Traffic, we've made some improvements. We now have 67 of our 152 traffic signals fully operational. That's 44% up from yesterday when we had 53, which was 35%. We have 16 that have power. They're in flash, but we still have to work on them to get them fully operational. But we still have 69 without power. So again, it is dangerous out there. More than half our signals are not fully operational, so please be careful. Moving to drainage. All our Lafitte pump stations were pumping overnight and today. The level in Lafitte, lower Lafitte, was lowered by approximately 4 to 6 inches over the past day. Concentrating now on Barataria, on Privateer Boulevard, we had a number of temporary pumps that we had installed over the last few days that were pumping all night and today without any problems, and we are lowering the water level there. With regard to the Paylette pump station, which is our only permanent pump station, 2 of our 3 pumps were operating all night and today. One of them is beyond repair right now, so we are installing 2 8-inch pumps today, 2 portable pumps to take the place of that down pump station. And finally, we had breached the potato levee where the Paylette canal is to try to equalize the levee, the level inside that levee with the marshland outside. We're still monitoring that, and as soon as that water level is equalized, we will then repair that breach. Moving finally to environmental, today we had 44 debris trucks out, up from our 31 yesterday, taking that vegetative debris from properties. We anticipate that tomorrow we'll have 60 trucks out in force. With regard to normal garbage pickup, we are catching up. It's anticipated that within a couple of days, we may be able to get back to our routine schedule for picking up garbage. What has happened, though, because of the additional bag waste that is out on the streets, Waste Connections, who operates on the East Bank, took 5 of those recycling trucks that we're not utilizing now, and they're employing them to pick up the bag waste on the East Bank. And on the West Bank, where River Birch picks up that bag waste, they typically have 1 rear loader following their crews that are picking up the tipper carts. Now they have 3 doing that job. So we are doing everything we can to accelerate the cleanup process. And that brings you up to speed for Public Works.
Thank you so much, Mark. Next is Sarah Babcock, our Chief Administrative Assistant.
Good evening. Today, Kings Grant has 22 shelteries, and this afternoon we transitioned that operation from parish staff over to Red Cross volunteers who will be manning that shelter. And as the parish president mentioned, we have 2 other shelters on standby in case we fill up. For those who were around here last night, know how excited I was to be able to get power and get back in my own home last night. And so I'm really excited that tomorrow we'll be able to start bringing people back from Alexandria and Bastrop. And I hope that they enjoy that experience, as much as we have as we've gotten into our homes. So tomorrow, we will be bringing back everyone who evacuated from the Weinhoven apartments. They will go directly to that apartment building via coach bus. We will also bring back everyone who lives on the West Bank, where we have been able to confirm that their house is still habitable and has had power restored. And then we will also be bringing back anyone who was living in Lafitte. They will be going to the Kings Grant shelter directly. If they have somewhere to go, they'll be able to leave from that site. Otherwise, they'll be able to stay and shelter there. Everyone who is able to go home will be given a ride directly to that home. We still have oxygen distribution sites at Fire Station 20 and Fire Station 81. So again, we're still allowing 1 tank per person per day. For those of you who may have picked up oxygen over the last week and a half, but now your power has been restored, if you have those empty tanks, please bring them back and drop them off at one of those fire stations so we can put that back into the stockpile to use for other people and future events. To talk about COVID for a moment, today we had a positivity rate of 12%, and we had another 6 deaths. This is a total of 32 deaths since the hurricane hit, which is 4 times the number of hurricane-related deaths. So again, COVID is continuing to be one of the leading causes of death in our parish. Tomorrow, the National Guard will reopen their testing site at McDonald Park, which is at 900 Drake Avenue in West Wego. They will open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and be open Monday through Saturday. This will, for right now, it will be a walk-up under the basketball court. So it'll be in a shaded area, but it will be outdoors for safety, just due to our high positivity rate, until it's eventually able to go back to the Ilario Center once hurricane operations there have ended. AccuReference Lab, which was running 3 drive-through testing sites on the East Bank prior to the hurricane, will also be reopening. We will reopen drive-through testing at Delta Playground and Bonneville Boat Launch beginning on Friday. That will be open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. They will also be offering weekly testing in our shelters to ensure that we are being COVID safe in those locations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. So again, I want to thank Entergy, Patrick Hamby, and from Cox, Katrina Lagasse, and from AT&T, Eric Jones, for being with us here today. I know you're not with government, but certainly you're very critical in the restoration and putting our community back together. So I want to thank you all for being part of tonight's briefing. So with that, everybody, please be safe. I know many people are coming back. As I said, please be careful. And a thank you to everybody who's involved and has been involved in us recovering. All right, everybody, thank you so much.